What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to our weekly podcast, Lunch with Schmucks. I am, of course, Vincent, accompanied by the lovely Hirsch.
Hello, guys. We're going to start off this podcast with introducing a good friend of ours that really likes swag, as you can see by his custom hat with his little Deadpool
Custom hat,
thing.
my ass.
All right, this is Andrew.
Howdy, everyone.
And
And this is...
This is Kenneth.
Kenneth.
I had to introduce myself.
This is,
Apparently.
you were supposed to... Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to have random topics selected here. No one actually knows what anyone else's topic is. It's just going to be... It could be anything. It could be funny, controversial, or it could be dumb, but I'm really hoping it's not just a dumb topic like Obamacare. Anyone? Okay. All right. But we're going to start off the discussion with Vincent's topic.
Are we?
We are.
Okay, I don't want to start off with my topic, actually. I want my topic to be...
I'll start off then.
You'll start off with? Alright,
I'll
I'm actually
start.
kind of excited for Andrew's topic.
Okay, so my topic is, I want to know your thoughts on the World Cup.
Are you talking about who won the World Cup? or are
No,
you
just
talking...
the whole World Cup.
Like the whole World Cup.
Like,
what are our
since-
thoughts on the World Cup?
Yes.
Like, since it
You can talk about
started?
specific games or something.
But do you mean, like, since the World Cup has started? Or, like, do you mean, like,
This
things that
World Cup?
happened?
This
Or-
World Cup. This World Cup, I meant.
That's World
Yeah.
Cup.
I
It was
just-
recent, though, that's why.
I'm pretty sure many people died in Brazil.
Dude, they got so...
Did they?
They got so pissed Brazil lost.
Oh, God.
It was a
Did
pretty
you guys
sad
see
thing.
that one?
Did
where,
you
like,
watch
the
it
old
at all?
guy was crying?
Yeah, there was a guy
Did
just
he-
crying.
he
There
was
were
Holding the
children.
trophy?
Oh, yes, I saw a picture.
Yeah, the worst part was that there were people in Brazil, and they literally said that they were scared to leave their homes after this happened because they were legitly scared. Because, like, I mean, Brazil isn't that nice of a country to begin with. I mean, it's a developing country, but the other thing was
Shit. Okay.
that soccer was like the one thing they had to be proud about. And then I saw someone write, some Brazilian guy wrote, "We lost the only thing we were good at," and someone commented, "Obviously not." that was the end of that guy. I don't remember seeing him again, but
That was absolutely ridiculous. I'll say that much. Though the game, I'm kind of like I'm a big soccer fan, right? I'm very happy that Germany won.
is it because you're Mexican?
I'm Mexican and also around like 3% German, so I'm happy that Germany won. Or at least my grandpa tells me we're part German. I don't believe him though. But for this month only, I'm gonna believe him.
You
Just for
don't
the
believe
sake.
your grandpa?
No, I'm pretty sure it's bullshit. I really doubt I'm part German. But just for the sake of Germany winning the World Cup, I am now officially.
Now you're officially part
I
of
am
He
like,
has
officially
accepted the German pride.
It's like, well, they're only passing that they can be proud of the World Cup. But I'm really happy that Germany won. Mexico losing was bullshit. And I am going to advocate that right now. That Mexico losing was bullshit. They played against the Netherlands, of course. Mexico is doing phenomenal. They initially beat Cameroon. Then they tied against Brazil.
Yeah, what the
In a
heck?
really good game. And it was a really good
That
game.
was.
Did you watch it?
I watched parts of it.
Okay.
I
don't think you know anything about the World Cup.
I am a basketball fan. If we had something about that, like my home team actually won the NBA championship, so it was a pretty cool thing. But you continue with your little soccer talk.
Ochoa's gonna go on for Mexico.
Ochoa is
He's
like,
ridiculous.
He's a free agent right now, so who knows what team's going to pick him up. But I hope a good team. I hope all the best for him. And then they played against Croatia, which I was actually concerned about, but they kicked Croatia's ass.
I know.
And I'm really happy about that. And that's why I was really confident going up into against Netherlands, and then they dominated the majority time of the field, the game. Sorry, they dominated. Second, they were winning 3-0. Then, of course, sorry, god damn it, I'm thinking of Croatia again. Okay, sorry, Netherlands. I was thinking of the Croatian game for some godforsaken reason. Netherlands, they were playing. They were dominating the game. They scored a goal in the second half. I was really excited, and then they were doing great for like the rest of the game. Then come the last 5 fucking minutes.
Oh.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, the first goal that Netherlands scored, yeah, they completely deserved that goal. The second one was fucking bullshit. First, Robin, that was his name, somewhere around those lines. Robin. He completely admitted after the game, yeah, I dove. I think that's you shouldn't fucking you don't admit that. You do something like that, you don't admit that. even 90% of the fouls that are committed in soccer are bullshit. We all know this, but you don't.
And I don't watch soccer. I just see them trip over.
They're
nothing.
completely fabricated, but you don't admit that you did it, especially in a huge pivotal point in a game.
Was there any penalty for that, or did they just let it slide?
That always happens. They're not going to care. People shouldn't care, and they shouldn't care. They shouldn't care.
But it was after the game that he admitted.
Yeah, it was after the
Something
game.
that could have
He
changed
shouldn't
the
have,
outcome
though.
of the game.
Yeah, he shouldn't have admitted it, because now I don't like him because of that. You don't admit that. I mean, that's fine. He wants to own up to his mistakes, but when you just pissed off millions of Mexicans by beating them, and then just admitting like, hey, like we beat you because I faked that goal. Like that's gonna make things even worse. Don't say that.
Fake that goal?
He faked that penalty, which caused the goal.
Oh, okay.
So like that's like I didn't like that. Either way, I'm still proud of Mexico. They did really well. A lot of teams kind of played against easy teams to get there. Like for example, me and Joshua were talking. He's Colombian, and he said like Colombia did amazing. They played against easy teams. Let's face it. They ended up playing, like, they played against like the hardest team they played against was Uruguay without Suarez because he bit the other guy.
Oh yeah, I'm like, what the?
Hasn't he done that before?
Yeah.
Though?
Twice. Yeah. I don't know. Like
Does he just
I don't
like
know.
does it just happen or is it?
I think
He
there
just
has
likes
to be.
ears, man.
Yeah, there has to be something else playing to that. Because it's not like he's angry. If he's angry, then he'll
Is
punch
he-
the other guy. I don't know why he bit them.
Is he into it? Is that what fuels
That
him
his
to play
thing?
soccer?
Fetish?
Ever since he's been a child, he's just been biting soccer players, and
Dude.
eventually people got afraid of him, and he started moving up in the leagues, and eventually ended up in the World Cup. Just biting
And he
people.
got suspended.
It's okay, he still went there, right?
Well, those are my 2 cents on the World Cup. Really happy Germany won. Germany did really well. Argentina did really well in the last match, but they didn't really play that well initially.
Dude, did you see that last goal Germany make? It was so good.
It was really good.
Oh my god, that pass into that one player and he hit it with his chest and kicked it in the air.
I actually did watch that. I
That
got
one
to see
was
that.
really
that was,
good. I was like,
that was
oh
pretty
my
impressive.
god.
I was so mad.
That was
I
overtime,
thought
too.
it was going to penalties for
A lot of
sure.
them went into overtime.
I thought it was going to penalties for sure.
I thought it was going to
And then-
penalties too.
And I'm pretty sure they just substituted him in before he scored that too. He was taken out before that, and they put him in, and he scored. And I actually heard that the guy who made the goal actually donated all the FIFA World Cup money
Did he
for
really?
surgeries for Brazilian children that were sick.
I don't know.
So that's pretty cool.
I think the best goal in the World Cup though was James James
For
goal
what game?
in Colombia versus Uruguay. Like, that goal was
Really?
amazing.
What happened?
Yeah, it was far off shot. He like the ball landed on his chest. He turned around and he just kicked in and he went straight. It was really good.
Okay.
It's hard to explain a goal. That's my fault.
Yeah.
Pet peeve when people talk about Brazil and they spell it with a Z. That really annoys me, especially if they're talking about soccer, because even I know
They're
Brazil.
both grammatically correct either way though.
Yeah.
But the actual country, wouldn't it be spelled with a S?
The actual country?
Don't.
Like
The
them.
Z.
It's a Z,
It's a Z. Yes.
even to them.
Oh, I don't know to them.
Then-
But like for like the way we
To
say
us.
it is with a Z.
Then who spells it with an S?
Probably
A lot, yeah. That depends what country you're from. It really does. Like,
I always thought it was actually spelled with an S, not to us.
It's like the
to
same
them.
thing with color. Like we say color
Yeah.
with like an
They
OR.
add
Yeah,
U.
over there in Europe we'll
Yeah.
say it with a U. OU.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Dang.
Okay, we just finished eating right now. I'm sorry.
We just finished eating. It took us a couple hours, but we're back.
Last year.
just say it, because I mean it looks.
All right, that's
kinda-
fine. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. We were actually eating. Pizza came over. We didn't want to eat and talk. In which case,
But the show is called Lunch for Smucks.
Yeah.
So I'm.
Oh!
You guys.
we pretty much ate dinner.
Yeah, we did eat dinner, but it's okay. You guys gotta take a break too, right?
Yeah.
You could be
All right.
eating right now. We don't know that. We won't judge you.
So, my topic. I guess I might as well go on to my topic. The second topic. We're nowhere near done. My topic is a bit of a moral conundrum right now, and it's because
Is it about a woman?
technically, yes, but not in the sense that you'd
Oh
assume.
man.
No, not in the sense that you'd assume.
It's
So,
about a friend's home.
The reason, no, not
Let
again.
me finish, please!
Okay, the reason. So I'm gonna start off with a story that happened to me about 2 days ago. Then I go on to the question because they're relative to each other.
They tie each other.
So it was around 2 to 3 days ago. I forgot. I think it was Monday, Tuesday. I don't know, somewhere around there. I was walking to the bank. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I had to go to the bank because I needed to get out cash money so I could pay back my mom.
Cash money. I needed to get Drake and Lil Wayne with me. You see? Come on, Young Money. Let's go, Cash Money. Let's. Okay. I just thought it was kind of weird how you had to say cash money. Well, you could say credit
You
card
could
money.
say one of those things.
No. You
You
can
cannot
say
put them together!
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like saying edible cheeseburger. I'm sorry. I admit my mistake.
Cash
Okay.
money. Did you meet Drake? Did you get his autograph? Did you get to meet Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj too?
Shut up. Anyways, so
Cash money.
I went over to the bank and I was walking, and then like this whole time there was like a girl walking behind me, right? And I was texting my friend, right? I was texting her and I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then there was this girl. Maybe she was maybe a couple of feet. I don't want to exaggerate too much, but she was like somewhere around like a couple of feet walking behind me, which was weird because I assumed I was walking pretty slow since I was texting my friend. So I assumed, okay, at a point I just started walking really slowly. I was looking at my phone. I was like, all right, pass. Right? That's basically exactly what I did. but she didn't pass. She continued staying behind me. Like when I walked slower, she would walk slower. I didn't think much of it at first. At first, I was like, whatever. I don't really care. So I finally got to the bank, and the bank was across the street from me. So I had to cross an intersection. So I stopped at the crosswalk, and then there was a crosswalk here leading towards the bank, and there's a crosswalk on the right of that.
Okay.
Yeah, leading towards the gas station. Yes.
What time were you walking?
It was like 11 o'clock at night. Told you.
At night?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Why don't you?
Okay.
Do you live close to it?
Yeah, I live walking distance from the bank. Yeah,
Oh,
no
okay,
problem.
okay.
I live like right next to.
All right.
So, and like I stopped at the crosswalk, and like that's when I looked at her to get a kind of like a good look at what I was dealing with.
let me size up here. Let's see if I can take her down. Let's see if I want to take her down.
I wanted to see like what was up. Like,
Let's see if she's good looking. Let's get a proper view.
No, like it
of
wasn't
what
that.
we're
It was like I was like looking at her. I'm like, are you scared? I'm confused. Like because like I want to see her to see like if she looks back at me. Because if she looks back at me, then she was doing that intentional. Like
Maybe she was
like,
trying
I
to
want to like get like a better understanding, right? So it's like, all right. So I look over there and like go some girl, and then behind her was another guy, and I was like,
Oh, my.
okay. Like now I'm starting to get like an idea. And then she went over to the crosswalk, but the one leading towards the gas station, right? Remember, I'm going to the one
Yes.
gas station. Keep that in your noggin. And so I was just there, and then she goes over, she stops by at the crosswalk, and then the guy goes over, and he stops by at the crosswalk as well. And then I'm assuming they were having a small little altercation, right? Nothing too big. I'm assuming. Again, I'm assuming.
Oh my god.
And then
did you witness like something that should have been reported to the police?
No.
Okay.
And then finally, like, I wasn't making too big of a deal. I was like, I didn't really assume that he was talking. I only assumed later when she rose her voice and she said, "Leave me alone." No, she said F off. She said fuck off. So at that point, I was like, I look over and I see his arm. I see his hand on her arm. And at that point, I was like, shit, I have to get involved now. So I will go over there. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, is this like? I was like the conventional, like, is this guy bothering you? And then she's all like, he won't leave me alone. Like she said, he won't leave me alone. Like
Did
she
know
so
him?
she's like, that's where we get later on in the story.
Okay,
so I was like, so when she said he won't leave me alone, I was like, she wants me to get involved. So I was like playing in some way, I have to get involved. And then the guy said, he looked at me and he said, "This is none of your business, kid. Leave us alone." I don't like that he called me a kid because
How old are they?
he was like 18. I'm like, you're not. Yeah.
He's not that much older.
No, he's like, you're like probably a couple of months. Like, you're probably in the same year as me. So I said at that point, due to me not wanting to sound too vulgar, I kind of went off on the guy, right? I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to leave you alone because clearly she's having issues, right? So like, I kind of like, that's basically a synopsis of what I actually said, but I said something much more vulgar than that. Yeah. I was like, no, like shut up. And then finally, he just like, we got into it. We kind of got into a little word argument, right? And I was scared. I was actually kind of worried. Like, am I like 2 seconds away from being punched in the face? Like, I was scared. But I was like, no, like either way, like, leave. So finally he walked away. And then I started talking to the girl. I'm like, what was that about? And then she said, look, I'm really sorry. Like, you probably like, it was obvious to tell that you were trying to have me pass you. But the thing is, like, I was actually kind of worried because I didn't want him to do anything. That's my ex, and he's been trying to talk to me for a while now. But, I've been ignoring him and I'm just scared that he might do something. I was like, okay, that's fine. So I had like, out of courtesy, she lived like behind Walmart, which isn't too far. So I like walked her over to her house, right? And I was like, we said our goodbyes after that. And I went back. So this goes back to my question, my little moral conundrum that I have to ask with you guys. Is it our responsibility to step in something like that? Like if you see something like that happening, are you obligated to do something about it?
Okay, I'm going to start off by saying everyone's probably going to have a different answer, but it really depends on the severity of the situation. Like, how severe is it? Does it seem like that person is in actual danger from this? Or is it just like harassment? But either way, it's pretty annoying. So, I don't know. It really depends on the situation you're dealing with. Like what you were dealing with, I'd kind of be scared to step in. Because you never know. That guy could have had a knife, a gun, could have straight up punched you in the face.
I was probably like 2 seconds away, yeah.
And you were going to the bank. And you got involved. I mean, that might have made her happy, but you kind of put yourself out there too. But at a certain point, I think it is good to help people out. Because, I mean, what if you're in the same spot some other day?
But is it a moral, obligation?
Like,
do you have to do something? Especially like for example, like the guy put his hand on her arm. Should you be forced to do something? Like should you be obligated to do something about that? Knowing that you witnessed this and you know what could happen, especially, since he has his hands on her.
I think at that point, yeah, you should step in, but you should kind of know what you're getting into, and you should maybe like, if you have something with you, I mean, like, if you carry something for safety, I don't know, I mean, it really depends. If it was me, I might have just kept walking and minding my own business, because I wouldn't want to get jumped.
By one guy?
It really depends. If this one guy was bigger than you, and he could straight up just knock you out, and you weren't expecting it, that would be a lot worse than him basically touching her shoulder and saying, "Hey there." Listen.
She raised her voice. She said "F off." Like,
what if he was just like, "Hey there, listen to me. I'm sorry."
I don't know this though. That's why I have to
That's
step in.
exactly my point. You really don't know what you're getting into, and it really depends if you're that type of person that's willing to deal with the consequences either way. So I'd say no, it is not a moral obligation. You should not be forced to do something you don't want to do because the world will see you in a better way because of it. Because you're putting yourself in danger. If you really feel you should do it, by all means do it. Otherwise, you don't have to. What do you think, Max?
All right, Andrew.
Okay, well, God, this one's really hard. So, I think it is because like she raised her voice,
Right.
but if they're like, if I see it, then I won't do anything. But they have to say like, "Help me," then I'll do something because like they're asking for it. But like they don't say anything. They don't say anything.
They're asking for it. That sounds like you're talking
oh
about
my
someone
God!
else. And they're asking for it.
But if, like they don't say anything, I'm just gonna keep walking. They have to like ask for the help. That's
Oh,
why.
I have another question to add to this. To answer this with his question, would gender play a role? Gender and age play a role in whether you
Yeah.
stepped in?
So
or
if like
not?
the girl was like, the
Reverse.
one with her hand on the guy's arm.
Yes, and the other way around, or if it was an older person, as in your 40s, 50s, or even an elderly person in your 60s, 70s, or 80s.
Wait, so like if a 40-year-old.
No. It's just moral obligation. It's not the same situation. I just mean if you had a 70-year-old being mugged basically in front of you, and you knew this guy had like a knife.
That's brutal.
What would you do? Would you step in because you know it's the right thing to do and you got to do something, or would you just kind of like act like you didn't see it happen? This guy has a knife. Know that.
You would at least call the cops.
Well, I have a knife too.
I do. I do something about it. Because like, okay, I don't do anything great now. Like for 3 years, I'm gonna feel horrible about that moment, knowing that I didn't do anything, and that poor old man or poor old lady just had a horrible day because. Of
Okay, I know that, but then again, if this guy is wielding a knife, are you really gonna put your life in danger for a certain amount of money? I would rather call the police and let them do their job. Because I mean,
The guy is long gone, by the way, though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that, like
yeah.
that old person. Like it's not about necessarily like trying to catch the robber, more or less like trying to protect
Prevent
that old
the
that
situation.
that person.
Yeah, you're trying to protect him, but if you know he has a knife, and if it's like, either way, you know the elderly person is probably not going to get hurt, because usually they mug them and they take their stuff. They're not going to like...
But they're still gonna have a horrible day because of it, though. That's what we're trying to prevent.
Well, not necessarily. Okay, now like we're fapping in, but not necessarily like having a horrible day, right? It's like not like the
Okay.
the guy who's like gonna go home. It's like I had a horrible day. I got mugged. Like it was a bad day at work. It's more along the
bad
lines
day
of
at
like
work.
making sure nothing bad happens to that
Yeah,
person.
like basically giving them reassurance. Because I mean, I've heard stories about this happening to people, like anything like that, muggings and stuff, and it really... I think it just like scares them of like going to the same spots or like seeing people. Like they're more afraid of going out. So you can stop that from happening. But let's go back to the original topic, and I just wanted to add gender. If it was a girl putting her arm on the guy's shoulder and he said that, would you step in? I honestly doubt anyone would step in if it was the other way around.
I'm with you on that one.
I really doubt anyone would step in.
Is she, however, like is he clearly more powerful than her?
No, they look about the same. Like
you can't tell?
Physical, like he's not like too built or anything. He's just a guy standing at a crosswalk, and she comes up to him, puts her hand on his shoulder or whatever, and he clearly says, "Leave me alone," pretty loud. I doubt anyone would get involved in that.
That's true. No, like that's 100% true. Yeah. Because like living now, it's like we already have the preconceived notion that the guy,
Yeah, exactly.
Like
The
the girl's
guy.
not gonna like.
Yeah, I would most likely think people would jump in on the other scenario. What about you? What do you think?
Actually, for work, there was a day. Do you guys know Boys Ring Park?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we lock up restrooms for the city, and there's homeless people at the parks because it's a park, and there's 2 homeless people who are married, and we're about to leave. We're like done with the shift, and like we hear the couple start screaming at each other. We're like, whatever. Our policy's like if it's not like anything serious, like usually the police won't go and deal with any of it. But you see like the lady pull out like a golf club and like start screaming like she's cussing at the guy to leave him alone and to back off. I'm like, it's serious. So we end up calling the police, but the police don't even show up. So I say it is a moral obligation to step in.
If
Yeah.
you're being threatened with a golf club,
I know.
you probably want to
Well,
do
she's
something.
like trying to defend herself
Okay.
from him.
But what,
she's not like attacking
did
him
you
or
find
anything.
out what happened afterwards?
We just stayed there. We
Was
like
everything-
stayed there to make sure nothing happened. The police never came.
If there's like an intent on
Yeah.
danger there, like
Yeah.
if you're worried that somebody's gonna hurt, you really do need. Well, I'm like me personally. I don't say you don't have to, right? Because obviously, like you don't have to do anything, right? It's your own personal.
I'm just like comparing the situation because like
Right.
originally it started like, hey, whatever. It's just like a couple doing whatever stuff. But had we just gone right there, like when she said leave me alone, we would have just gone and whatever happened.
Yeah.
But we stayed to make sure.
Like me, I guess, like thinking about it, I would jump in if there's a possibility
Yeah.
of danger. If if somebody is threatening somebody, or if somebody has a weapon on them, I'm going to intervene and I'm going to say, okay, is there a problem here? If they're just arguing, I'm not going to jump in. That's none of my business, right? They're arguing about whatever. They're not threatening
It's
each
just
other,
their
right?
own
And
problems.
and as soon as I leave, it's no longer my issue.
Yeah.
Like they're now on their own.
Yeah.
But if I'm within their vicinity and there's a threat, I have to intervene.
Yeah.
Like that's just me based on my morals.
All right,
All right.
my topic. all right. My topic was. I know this might be controversial, but I hate League of Legends, and I think it's one of the most awful games I've ever played, ever. That is my opinion. You could love League for all I care, and you could discuss with me why. That's the whole point of this. But I just like to say, I think it sucks. I started playing second season. Someone tried to get me into it. I hated everything about it. I hated the gameplay. I hated the controls. I hated the characters. I hated everything about League. I even hated the name League of Legends. Man, that's so cool. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna hate on the name. That's pretty dumb. But I honestly never liked the game, and it became really popular recently. Everyone plays it. I think it has a couple million plays every day. Right? I think that's.
I don't know.
I
It's the
don't
most
know.
played game in the world.
It's the
apparently.
most
It
played.
is the most played game though. That's for sure. And there's just like I never really liked the game. I just want to know why do people still like this game? Like what? Like once you get to a certain level in it, like 30, what is the point of still playing? Like I understand
Right.
in certain first-person shooters you keep playing, but why in League? Why do you like this game? I just really don't see it at all. I don't see it.
I'm a moderate League player. I've played 2 games. I don't want to say moderate. I played 2 games. And then I played 2 games.
I'm a moderate player. 2 games. I
I
played
played
2
2
games.
games. I've been trying to get back into it, right? Like I played 2 games when I first downloaded it. I've been trying my best to get back into it because my friend Carlos, he was at my house and he downloaded it, and I'm doing my best. I just can't get into it. I
Okay,
just
yeah,
can't.
that's another reason I don't like it because there's so many high level players already. You can't even start off at a fair point to play these people because a lot of them make fake accounts just to play with low level noobs and beat them. And I know you do that.
No, I don't do that. I take people's accounts actually. That
What?
they smurfed up. I took my friend's account.
Okay, you 2 are the people who play League of Legends too. You're the
Alright,
only ones who can actually say something about
defend the
this.
game League and why people still like it or play it at all. Like honestly, what makes you want to play League? You're both level 30s.
Okay, first I just want to say something about you. You only seem to enjoy sports and shooter games.
That's
all
true.
I have to say.
That
That
is
and then I'll
technically true.
explain my points.
That is okay. So all I wanted to say, I found that true, but I do like free roam games. but League just sucks. It just sucks.
Like mechanically or like what?
I don't-
what
exactly
you
matter
like?
did you
You're
like?
just saying
Yeah,
it
okay.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point in arguing.
I don't like strategy games because that was kind of his assumption when only liking shooters. But no, I really like StarCraft 2. I actually play that game and it's actually pretty fun.
It's very good.
Yeah, it is actually. I didn't think it'd be that good, but it is pretty fun. But League, it's strategy. Okay, I get that.
It's
I think
strategy.
the most like the only part I really didn't get into it because all the people I always played with were at such high levels and so much better than me that whenever I even tried to learn, I just get wrecked. Like when we won.
Honestly, I have to
Most
admit
probably
that
will.
is one of the bad points of
Yes,
getting into the
started
game.
is hard.
It's so bad. Like
Like
every
I'll
time
admit
I
that's
played.
like a bad part of the
I think
game.
that's the only reason I don't like League because I never could get into it because everyone was just so good.
Everyone just crapping on you.
That was basically it. And then I played with people that were pretty high levels, and they'd be like, "Dude, why do you suck?" And I'm like, maybe because I'm like level 8 using Annie. Yeah, I even play a little girl in this game.
I mean, I'm fine with the game. I think it's a fine game, right? It's definitely.
Yeah.
It is okay. That game is fine.
I mean, like it entertains the masses, and that's fine. But I don't like me. Like I'm not. I don't peg like myself to a specific genre. Right? I play shooters. I play platformers. I play puzzle games. Like I love all kinds of games. Right? I love games that I would have never expected to like. XCOM Enemy Unknown is one of my favorite games that came out back in 2011. Game's fantastic, and I would have never assumed that I would have enjoyed that genre. But I'm not sure if it's a MOBA thing because League of Legends is the only MOBA game I've ever actually played.
Yeah, I think that's. The
I think I
same
played
thing.
like 2 minutes of Disney Infinity, but I ran
No.
out of time.
Never heard of that.
Disney.
Not Disney Infinity, sorry, Infinite Crisis. Infinite Crisis, sorry.
Okay.
Disney
Disney
Infinity is a good game though. That's a good game. I played like 2 minutes of Infinite Crisis and I was done. But I try I've tried time and time again to get into League of Legends because I want to know like why people find this. I want to like kind of get a taste of how addicting people get, of how addicting this game can be to people.
Yeah.
But like I just can't like it's not that it's a bad game. It's not that I hate it or anything. I wish all the best to you guys that enjoy the game, but I just can't get into it. I just
Okay.
don't think it's very entertaining.
One point I'd like to add about that was that another reason I don't like it is because so many people overhype it. Like people that did not play this game that just started will literally say League is the greatest game I've ever played, and most of them
I would
honestly
agree.
didn't play any other games. Or like when girls jump on the hype train and they're like, I play League of Legends. Okay, can you please like calm down? No one. I don't need to know that. It doesn't make a difference to
You
me.
probably suck the game anyways.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, when people overhype a game, that kind of ruins it for me, too. Like, I think that's the reason I stopped liking Call of Duty. After, like, Black Ops 1, every Call of Duty was so overhyped that when I played it, I just hated it. Because it was, like, you have, like, a certain standard you're expecting by people's reviews, but then it just doesn't live up to it. But, yeah, that's another reason I don't like League. First reason, too hard to get into because everyone's already so far ahead and you don't get paired with like fair players most of the time. Second reason, overhyping the game where people just go crazy about it, especially gamer girls or I don't even know what else to say. Like everyone just gets so hyped about it.
I love that you're that part of the internet.
Yeah.
That whenever a game becomes overhyped, you always go in the comment section like this game sucks.
No. I'm not like, okay, I enjoy a lot of games that are overhyped, but when a certain game is hyped to a level where it can't live up to its expectations, that just ruins it for me.
Who hypes League of Legends?
I know.
Honestly, I've never heard anyone hype it.
I've heard of people always overhyping this game. Ever since a couple of people at our school started playing, when it was small, they hosted tournaments at our school.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then,
I remember.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then people were
yeah.
straight up like, yo, League's the best game I've ever
Like Josh?
played. Yeah, like, I don't want to say names, okay, but like, people
Well,
that are...
Because he's
People
gonna see
wanted
this
to-
video.
Yeah.
He does. This ends up becoming a really popular video and he sees it. No.
If it does, I apologize.
I apologize in advance, but I really doubt that's gonna... What if another guy named Yash sees this? Then I'd feel bad.
We're talking about you.
No offense to you.
Follow at Webomoose on Twitter, by the way. I should probably mention that. Follow me.
Okay, so yeah, no, League's been hyped. Like around me, I've heard people try to get other people to play it too. Like they're like, no, dude, you have to play League. Like, what do you mean I have to play League? What
You don't
are
have
you,
to, yeah.
are you gonna tell me I should? You're gonna tell me I have to do it?
I mean, at the same time, though, if that game was, if it wasn't as hyped as it is now, I would have never played that game. If it only had I would have known that it existed. But because it didn't gain that much attention, I would have never cared to actually play it. But because it is so hyped, it's the most played game in the world, allegedly. I played it. I had to give it a shot, but
How'd
just
you
couldn't
start
get into
playing?
How did I start
Yeah,
playing?
how'd you start
Okay,
playing?
so I started season 1 actually, but I didn't play that.
What?
Season 1. No, it's because I saw my brother play. I was like, oh, he played as the Anivia,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, that looks cool. And I made an account, and I only played like once a month because I had this shittiest laptop ever.
Your brother could play, but you couldn't.
No, because he had his own computer. I had a crappy.
did I know you when you complained? Because when I first met you, you were complaining about your computer.
Yeah, I had that computer. It was really bad, and so I only played like once a month. Like it would take me 6 minutes in the loading screen.
You're one
That's
of
how
those
bad it was.
people.
Yeah,
You're one of those people.
Toasters.
Wait, do you mean loading screen as in starting Windows, or you
Loading
mean
screen.
League loading
Like
screen?
league loading.
Like you pick your character.
Oh, and
How
then
loading
it
screen?
takes... Okay,
It takes 6 minutes to load into the
God,
game.
that
That's
sucks.
I was
Okay.
one of those people.
dang. I just wanted to say really fast, the point of overhyping, I think it was too general. What I meant by overhyping wasn't people raving about the game as in being good. I was talking about people that haven't really played it, hopping on the bandwagon. So that's what I actually meant. Like when they
Oh, you're
just...
bandwagoners.
Yes, when everyone just starts jumping on this game
yeah,
because
that's
it's
annoying.
cool. Like some girls at our school, they're like, "Hey guys, I play League. Add me. Are you good?
No.
Do you play ranked? I don't know what to say to you. Why should that be thrown out there? But yeah, but then again, the hype was good for the game. It got it to number 1.
I also want to mention that I probably had one of the best strategies in that game. I used Vagar, tanked him completely, didn't kill a single person, just walked around. That was my second match.
Did you get what did you end with?
Shit, I don't know. I played I think afterwards I played with Duck, I think, and he told me to hey, you should probably hone your skills in what was it called when you play against easy bots? I still got my ass kicked. Help me.
Bots were such a pain when I started.
I could never get into that game just because I think it was the people I played with. They were so good that whenever I messed up, they'd call me out on it.
Yeah,
And
the community can be bad.
and I
'Cause
was
it's
like,
so big.
no, I mean like our friends would get really upset about me messing up, but they were the ones that were like, "Hey, you're new to this, so we'll help you." But then they get mad about it, so I'm like, I don't know what to do. You want me to play with you?
That certain, I didn't play with them because they did the same to me. I'm like,
There's
alright,
there's a certain group at our school that they all got into League because of Josh. And they all,
Josh, who?
Kim.
Amaranto?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was the one that introduced me to
Those,
League.
come on.
Oh, Jared, those guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're pretty good, but I
I'm
just
better than like half of them now.
You're probably better than
Wait, did I
most
mention
of
one
them.
of them recently? Duck?
Huh?
Was he part of that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still plays with them, but that's not the point. The point
Yeah, he
is
does.
like when the community's bad, it can kind of lead to the game being bad. But it really depends on who you play with. League can actually be really fun if you play with fun people. It all depends on the crowd actually. So I'm not gonna blame League for me not liking
It's
it.
a lot of games.
Yeah, I'm just blaming it on my experiences of it. I'm sure it's a good game, but some experiences just ruin it for me.
That's fine. I respect that. Alright.
Well,
Who's
I
next?
think though, like
Oh, okay.
the reason why I play it though is because the pro scene is very big. A lot of people watch. Even a lot of people watch it, and like
Yeah.
what gets people into it is like they see these pro players on like Twitch, and they see them make these amazing plays. They're like, man, they're
I
using
could do
they're
that.
they're using my character. I can get those items. I can do that.
I think it's big though because it's so accessible to everybody. On
Yeah,
the
yeah,
If you have an
that's why.
internet
Yeah,
connection,
honestly,
you can have like
the
a
game-
mid-tier PC and you can download it. It's free. Like there you
Yeah,
go.
and
I like that. I think
yeah.
that like contributes primarily to why
So
it's such
popularity?
a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just like literally anybody can play it. When you
Yeah, it
talk
does
about something
run
else,
on
like
computers.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is huge, right? It was
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
high selling
I'm
game.
still mad at you, Rockstar, for not releasing it for PC. If you ever watch the video, you should know that. Bought it on the
Well,
PC.
they're going to.
Yeah,
One
after
day.
like how many months?
Whatever. But anyways, like for that stuff, like you have to buy a console, you have to buy a $60 game, and it's just
Yeah.
such a hassle for a lot of people who don't have the money. League is an easy alternative. They can just download it, it's free and it's accessible, and it's a big deal right now. So
Yeah.
people, they're fine, they're content with just playing that. And I mean, to me, that's what primarily contributes. Not necessarily that it's a great game, right? Obviously, there are better games out there, and I'm sure somewhere around in the depths of the internet, there's a better MOBA, but no one really cares about it.
Dota 2.
Is it? I don't know.
I like
don't
Dota
play
2.
Yeah,
That's just
there's a lot of people that
the-
like Dota 2, and they're like, oh, Dota was before League, it was the original.
What the fuck,
Who
people say
cares?
that?
I hate it when they're all like, "Oh, the original."
I don't say
That's
that.
bullshit.
I just like it.
Wasn't it before though? I heard a lot of people.
Dota was
Dota
Yeah.
was the
the
first
original.
one.
Yeah.
But I don't say that.
Yeah, but I've heard some people bring that up, like, oh, League's just a copy of Dota. But
Yeah, I play both.
I heard they're different games, and I
Yeah.
heard isn't Dota just a mod though, but it's still like a fully.
Dota was a
set-
mod,
Dota was a mod of
World
some
of
other-
Warcraft.
yeah.
World of Warcraft. Or Warcraft
You
3.
mean yeah.
Yeah, Warcraft.
That's a big difference.
That's completely different.
Warcraft is based off of World of Warcraft, okay? So almost the same.
Okay, man.
All
whatever
right,
you
so
say.
are we done with this topic, or do you still have some hatred that you want to let out?
No, I don't hate the game. I hate my experience with the
Wait,
game.
really? I think your
I
exact
think
words.
you said
yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know. But what I'm saying is, discussing that hate now has led me to realize that it's not the game I hate; it's my experience with the game I hate.
I was gonna say, like, I think it's his experience.
Yeah, it's
you
not the
could
game.
tell he was.
Yeah, honestly, before I was like, dude, League sucks. I hate League. But after talking about why I hate it, I realized it's not even the game I hate. It's the people I played with and the experience I had with
You
it.
just play with crappy people. Play with like me and Kenneth.
If I decide to
He
go
doesn't
back to
even
League,
play.
I will play with actual people who can teach me how to play and not be like, yo, bro, can you get a pentakill?
What?
You can't get a pentakill with any man. What are you? I just started playing. I'm a level 8, and then I used to get wrecked by everyone.
Yeah, you should play with this guy. This guy carries me every game.
This guy's such a troll.
What are you talking about?
I think we're getting.
Oh, well, I
carry
like
every
when
game.
people can have fun with a game and mess around. When people take it too seriously, like the people I play with, they took it so seriously.
They
If
did.
you die, they'd straight up yell through their mics at you and be like,
Yeah,
why
I
did
Skype
you...
with them. They
why
would
did-
type it out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they'd be like, why did you die? Why didn't you just stay back? It's like, so I can't even play the game how I want to play it.
Are we done with this topic?
I think we're done, and I
He's
come to the
released all his
conclusion
hate.
All right.
that I don't hate League. I just hate my experience with it.
We've changed it.
Maybe I'll get back into it one day.
Don't.
One day.
No,
Please
no.
don't. So Kenneth, you're the last
What
one
was
here.
your topic?
You're the man with the shortest straw right now.
so I want to talk about like the younger generation and like social media and stuff.
Right.
Because at work, oftentimes I deal with like 6-year-olds
Kids,
younger.
basically.
You work for the city, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just got my cell phone a couple of months ago.
Your first cell phone?
My first cell phone.
Oh, okay. Is it a smartphone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And these kids walk up to me and they're like, add me on Twitter.
Whoa!
Don't you follow people?
Oh my
Don't
god.
you follow
Or
people?
follow me
Okay,
on
okay.
Twitter.
Oh god.
Or,
Do you have a Twitter?
yeah.
Follow me. I will.
Yeah, but all these kids walk up with their like S5 and like all this stuff, and they have like all these social media things at like such a young age.
So
How do you
want-
like feel about
do you
like
want to
parenting
say
and
like
stuff?
that's a bad thing or that's
Like
just,
just
like,
how do you feel about that? Is that
Well, I
just
don't
like
know.
the new?
I honestly
Everyone gets a phone now.
everyone gets a hand.
Yeah.
Okay. What I wanted to say is, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing because phones. My first phone I got in like 3rd grade.
Or like social media, not just phone.
Okay, but leading on to that, my first phone was in 3rd grade. But then again, it was a flip phone, and I'm not gonna lie,
That makes sense.
coolest kid in school because I had a phone in 3rd grade. It was so
I didn't get one
cool.
until 7th grade.
I got one in
No,
3rd
me too.
grade.
Me too. Yeah.
But then, yeah.
Wait, didn't we both get the same phone?
I think so.
We both get the same
Oh,
phone,
yeah,
I remember.
Phone bros. Okay, so but yeah, it was pretty cool to have a phone. But then again, like no one else had a phone, so I couldn't like text
You
people.
couldn't do anything
I
with
couldn't
it.
do anything with it. It was just to call my parents or to call a friend's house and be like, "Hey, you want to go play outside later today?" Like I could walk over. But the point I was trying to get at is that if it's for like safety reasons, I get it. But your child doesn't necessarily need a smartphone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
see, but
all
the
this-
thing you said was call
Yeah.
to go play.
Yeah.
These kids are like, yo, look me up on like this or that.
And then
And
they
then-
stay
Yeah,
online.
social media.
Yeah.
And also, it's bad because like most social media, like it's not controlled. You can't control
There's
the content
no-
that you see.
no
There's
filters,
a lot of
yeah.
there's a lot of bad stuff on social media. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth. Social media has its positives and negatives to it. And for kids, there's a lot of bad stuff on social media. And I think that's one reason the newer generation of kids are so liberal with what they do and what they say. Like I've seen videos.
I mean, we
on
were
YouTube.
too, though. Like,
I don't think we were that bad.
I've
though.
never done anything.
Yeah, like
bad
the things
on
that
social
they're
media.
doing, like the things they know about at this age, I didn't even know about. Like, I've seen videos on Facebook about little kids talking about, like, and the worst part is, like, their siblings and stuff record these videos and post them, which makes it even worse. Like, you're supporting this. But I've seen videos of them talking about the weirdest stuff. I've seen them mention, like, drug references and mostly just cussing. And it's like, okay, when I was 6 or 7, I didn't know any of that stuff. And it just seems that it's getting worse as it goes on.
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily like the internet's fault. I think it's just like a TV, like TV. You watch something like. I think around the time that I started learning about like drugs and all that stuff, like sex, right? I think I was probably like in 3rd grade or 2nd grade, where like I started like learning like the semantics behind everything. But that's because I watched a lot of TV, and like it didn't really affect me, right?
So,
like it didn't hit me hard. Like I was raised well, so I wasn't about it. I was like fine. I didn't really mind it. But like it's inevitable that a kid is gonna learn that stuff. I don't think it's necessarily like a problem with society. I think it's just like it happens. It's inherent at this point.
Yeah,
right?
but the thing is, they're learning it at way too early of an age, and it's not that I'm blaming social media. I'm just saying it makes it easier to learn that stuff sooner, but they don't need to know this stuff.
Right.
Honestly, like, they do not need to know most of the things they know at this age, and there's a reason for it. Like, consider our parents. Like, most of the stuff we knew at our age, they did not know at their age. Like, when they were our age, basically.
Really? I talked to my dad about this, and like I told him like about the way kids are nowadays. Like, is this how you guys were as kids? And he told me like, yeah, like exactly like the way you guys are. Like we were that way. And I lived on a freaking ranch like back in Mexico, like when I was 4, and like we didn't really have access to the internet, but we knew of all this stuff. Like that's why like it leads me back. I think it's just like inherent that you know this stuff.
Okay.
I don't think it's necessarily like a problem with society.
I don't know. And I also feel that you can't just blame it on social media. You gotta kind of hope the parents, like,
That's part
teach their kids what is right and wrong and what they shouldn't do. But, yeah.
Going back to like this is all parenting. Like, and that's what I like. Going back to the whole cell phone thing, right? About kids having phones. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And if you want to give them a smartphone, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Technically, like, there isn't anything wrong with that. But understand that they don't need it. And like, it has to do with the parents. Like, okay, like, you know, you have a 7-year-old son or daughter. You're gonna give him or her a smartphone. Understand, like, that's not a necessity. You're gonna spend a lot of money on that thing, and God knows what they're gonna do on it, right? Yeah. And if if you just want them to have a phone so you can communicate with them, give them like a little dumb phone. That's what I had.
And
flip phone.
Yeah.
And then
flip phone.
the sad part is when the parents blame, like, other people for their children messing up.
Because
Because
that's annoying.
when you blame something, I mean, your child is your child. It's your responsibility to raise them. You cannot blame social media or big corporations for corrupting the minds of your children when you gave them the power
You
to access all
exposed
that.
that.
That's
to
absolutely
You
dumb.
gave them the power in their hands.
Yeah.
And you said, hey, make sure you watch yourself with it. Obviously, you're not going to control yourself when you have access to such...
To everything.
Yeah, like, to everything.
It baffles me. Like, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here, a tangent one. But it baffles me that we're still, like, we're in the 21st century and there's still parents thinking that way. Like, there's still parents out there that believe that violent video games can alter a kid's motives, which is
that's
bullshit.
just dumb.
Like, just a couple of months ago, we
Yeah.
finished an 11-year study that proved that false, and there's still people believing that, right? And I think, like, it's all a matter of parenting. It's not necessarily what they watch on TV, right, or what they play. It's a matter of how you raise your kids. That's the thing, like, the way I think about it. Okay, am I going to allow my kids to use social media? I'm not a parent, right? But me, like, judging how I reacted towards social media. As long as I raise them well, they should be fine. I shouldn't really, as long as I know how to raise my child, as long as I know what to teach them, what to tell them, how to kind of caress them, I think it should be fine, right? Like, playing violent, like, I'm going to let him play violent video games. I don't care. Like, if he asks me, like, hey, can I play Grand Theft Auto? Like, yeah, sure. Like, did you do your homework already? How are your grades? They're doing good? Like, all right, go nuts. Go play Grand Theft Auto 10 or whatever. Like,
Side note,
right now.
I used to mute any game over the rating of T when I used to play it at my house because and I didn't even watch cutscenes because I
She's
knew
just like-
I used to skip them because I knew what was allowed and what wasn't allowed. My parents would let me get the game, and sometimes they basically, because you know how you have that one parent that's okay with it and one that's not.
Oh,
and
yeah.
One of them turns a blind eye. So, like, let's say my dad bought me a game. Obviously, GameStop now has to tell him it's rated M, but back then I don't think GameStop had to do that. They didn't have to say, oh, this game has this, this, and this. Your child should not play it, but you're going to get it for him anyways, dude, so go ahead.
I'm sure it was always in their store policy, but now they really need to.
They really need to enforce it. But what I'm saying is, back then, if my dad bought me that game, I kind of knew what was expected of me. And if I knew it had curse words, I'd mute the audio. I wouldn't complain. I'd mute the audio, I'd skip cutscenes, and I'd just play the game. I really wouldn't complain about it. And, yeah, I feel like it's also about self-control at a point. Your parents can only do so much. You kind of have to know what you're doing at a certain point. Actually, not sense. My bad.
Yeah. Like a lot of time, like that's what I hate. I hate it when parents kind of like they find a stagecoach to just you know their kids are doing bad. They're like, okay, I'm gonna blame something else. I'm gonna blame video games. I'm gonna blame TV. I'm gonna blame who they're hanging out with. I'm gonna blame.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
the
a
way
lot of
society
parents
is.
do that.
Like no, like you like parents really need to start. Like
At a
I'm
certain-
not trying to go on a rant against
Yeah.
parents. I'm just trying to say like okay, like the parents that are blaming something else, you need to understand like what you're doing right there exactly. You need to understand that more likely than not, it's your fault. It's not like the TV's fault.
Actually,
because-
it could be the child's fault too, because I've seen a lot of good parents and kids are just like they don't understand. So at a certain point, outside factors play a role, but as long as you basically
yeah,
started,
they certainly do.
as long as you taught your kids well, they should be fine.
they
As
should turn out fine. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as because you, at a certain point you make your own decisions. You don't have your parents make them for you. So you should know who you're hanging out with. You should know who you're talking to, and you shouldn't associate with those kinds of people if you know it's not good for you. That was the most awkward part of this whole
I
ride.
think I had more.
No, I'm done. No, that was all I had to say. When parents
Oh,
accuse.
nice.
What's your opinion on social media and kids? You didn't give us your opinion.
Okay, well. Oh my god, I just had one. I forgot. Wait.
You just had an opinion.
No,
on
no,
it,
no,
you
no.
just forgot it.
Oh, okay, so what I think is like why parents blame like social media and like violent video games is because like they were raised up in an environment. They were raised up in an environment where like they didn't have any of that stuff. So like when it came out, it was all new and they didn't know about it. And so like when their kids acting weird, they're like, oh, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, that is
And so
true.
like
That's true.
I think it's this like because it just came out, and so they don't know what it is. They're afraid, so they blame
Oh.
it.
I gotta talk about something you just said.
What?
Social norms in other countries, because I'm suspecting none of you are from like parents that were born here, but they came here, correct? Or were both your parents born in America?
No, both my parents were born in Korea.
Okay, you two, right?
They're different countries.
You two, right?
That's
Same. So, like, have your parents ever seen you act a certain way according to American culture, which was completely different from their homeland? Because,
And
like,
then you act
my
different
parents,
with them.
yeah, because like my parents. Okay, this goes out to all you Asian kids out there. I know how
And
you
me.
feel, and you, but your parents are probably pretty chill with this. Okay, so in India, guys don't really talk to girls at all until they're at least like 18 and stuff.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, dude, it's really strict. Like, I mean, kids are doing it now, like right now, but back then they would never do it because it was really strict, right? And so, like, when I was actually hanging out with a friend of mine that's a girl, my parents, I kind of like have to like keep it on the down low. I don't like doing that, but it's
On
like
the
the
down low.
on the down.
I like
on
that
the
term.
down low. I gotta keep it hush. All right, hush. I gotta keep it hush.
I like how you're making fun of me for saying cash money. And you're just like on the down low.
All right. The point is that I don't like doing it, but there's no other option at this point. Like one time, my mom legitimately called me out, and she said, "Don't do anything stupid like that. You're gonna regret in the future." And I honestly, I'm just saying, be thankful that if your parents honestly care enough to tell you that stuff, you should be thankful for it. But at a certain point, I become a kind of a mean person, and I'm kind of like, hey, this is my life. And I feel bad about it, and I always like apologize, but I mean that doesn't mend my wrongs. But I'm just saying, like, cultural differences honestly lead to a lot of problems, like especially just like things like that, small things that they aren't used to, and I don't blame them for that. So do you guys have any experiences like that?
No, I'm like my parents were whitewashed. Like
Like,
I don't have an
seriously?
Asian
like
name.
if you brought a girl home, would they care?
No, they
Like,
would not.
If they weren't home.
No, they would not care. They honestly would not care.
Okay,
That's the
see,
thing.
I can't even hang out with one like outside of my house
That is a big problem.
unless we're with a group of friends. If it's alone, then it's kind of.
There's something wrong with your family.
Mine
I don't know, man. I don't think it's my family. I think it's most Asian kids that I've talked to. There's, of course, some that are like whitewashed, but most Asian kids I know, like their parents are honestly like that.
My parents, like, if I say what the heck, like heck,
Oh
they get
my
mad.
god!
Really?
I
Like,
know
small-
that.
It's like small things. Like, I can cuss, and like, she'll be like, hey, don't do but, like, if I say heck, she's like, what are you saying?
I
I'm
know
like,
that. I know that.
That's not even a, like, like a thing.
Wait,
it's
heck
not
is
a bad word.
What the heck? What the
Yeah.
fuck? What'd you say? Heck?
Yeah,
No,
like,
seriously.
They get like upset at little things. Like they're fine with most things. It's just like little tiny things.
I don't swear very
I don't
often,
know.
but like on this podcast, I swear actually quite a lot. But I like in
Tone it
general,
down,
like
man.
when you speak to me in real life, like or whatever, I don't swear very often. I'll say like damn or I'll say like hell, and like I said that in front of my parents, but they don't care,
Yeah.
especially because like they don't speak that much English.
Quick question: have you ever said a racist term in front of your parents?
No, I don't say racist.
My
terms.
parents are
Do you know
racist.
this
That's the
guy?
thing.
Yeah, I know you say a lot of racist terms. I know.
I
This guy
actually-
does quite a
The
bit.
thing is, I'm not racist though. I just say a word.
I just say racist things.
No, I don't say racist things at all. Like I'll say a word, but then it's like comedians you see, like they straight up they call out their own race just to make everyone else feel better and show them that they're not only picking on certain races, that they're even calling themselves out. So like if I say a word, I'll make sure I don't do it to offend someone. And if it accidentally does, I always apologize. Like I think the worst term one time I think we were playing online, and I think the word like small eyes somehow got like thrown into the mix because like someone couldn't see what was going on in the game or something. And I felt really bad for saying it. I usually don't say racist things, and I felt legitimately really bad about it. So I had to apologize over the mic. I was like, yo, I'm sorry about that. I don't know if you're Asian, but even if you are, I didn't mean it.
Alright, so to end it off, do you want to link anything or?
Be sure to
anything
follow us
say?
all on Twitter.
I
And,
don't
of
have-
course,
I don't have
I think
Twitter.
I'm at
No
the
Twitter.
gaming stuff. Also check out my other YouTube channel. I'm really good on that one. I heard I'm good.
It's actually a pretty popular channel, a couple 100K subs, but this guy is starting out fresh with us, so we can see how far we can get.
Yeah.
I'm kidding about the 100K subs.
And follow. I don't know. Do you have a Twitter?
Twitter seems
Yeah, that's
lame.
fine.
I have a YouTube account.
Do you have a Twitter?
Oh, what? You just like, you don't think I'm gonna get views?
Follow me on Twitter then. I guess I'm the only one. I don't know.
That's right.
You should tell them
Advertise
your
something.
name.
No one's gonna see. Like no one's gonna sit through like an hour and 30-minute podcast.
That's
I
why we're
like
gonna
how-
cut it down.
No, they have to be like an hour and a half.
You're not gonna cut any of this down.
Guys, thanks for watching.
Wait,
Be sure to
wait.
like, comment,
Are
and
you
subscribe.
serious?
Really appreciate this.
Oh my
That's it.
god.
Thank you for watching.
Ah, you suck.